A few weeks ago, I started a complete beauty no-buy. I went from buying whatever I want and allowing myself to buy whatever I want to not allowing myself to buy anything that I don't need. In this video, I want to talk about how does it feel to go from getting whatever you want to not getting anything at all. I want to talk about my mindset shift, how I felt right before starting a no-buy as well as right after, and how I feel now, a few weeks in. I want to talk about how my feelings about my personal makeup collection changed, as well as how I feel about new releases and potentially what is on my makeup wish list. So if you're interested in starting a no-buy yourself or just anything around that, this video is for you. If you saw any of my previous videos, you might already know what I'm talking about and about my no-buy. If you haven't, I will link the video where I talk about it in the description down below. So to give you a bit of a context, I want to talk about how my last year went. Well, I started thinking that I will be doing a low buy the whole year. And before that, in December of 2022, I have decluttered quite a lot from my makeup collection. Those were things that were quite old or things that I was not enjoying anymore. And now I am kind of thinking to look back at those things and see what I think about me decluttering them in the past now. But nonetheless, I started 2023 thinking that I will not be buying too much makeup. I was not on a no-buy, so I was allowed to buy whatever I want, but I did think that I will buy less and be more reasonable with that. And I was at the beginning, but then around August last year, I increased my social media presence. I kind of started being more active on my Instagram account, and on there I was posting makeup looks, makeup product photography. Basically, I was going into beauty content creation more. That is something that made me want to have more stuff, made me want to have more new things. I was also following more accounts about makeup and seeing those new interesting things. That's also how I got into enjoying indie makeup more and being more interested in trying out those products. And those were a lot of my makeup purchases last year. So starting from around my birthday time in July until the end of the year, my low buy was completely done, removed, did not exist anymore. And then closer to the end of the year, I started thinking that I will want to do a no buy year next year. I did start to think that I might create content around that and that it's a fun idea and a project to try out for my content creation. I didn't want to be buying a lot of things and spending a lot of money for something that is not bringing me anything back. And also other reasons where my collection was growing. I had a lot of new stuff that I haven't tested out. And those were many reasons that I have described also in my first video as well as on my Instagram post about my no-buy year. So in the last 2 months of last year, November and December, because I already knew that I want to start a whole year of not buying anything next year, so this year, I kind of made a decision that I want to allow myself to buy whatever I want before I start my no-buy year. So that was definitely a conscious decision that I made. I didn't panic buy a bunch of things without realizing what I'm doing. It was something that I decided to do and something that I kind of planned, but that resulted in my collection growing even more. The reason why I wanted to do it is because I wanted to see how it feels and how it is to get whatever I want. Of course, there were limits because I wasn't able to afford completely 100% of everything that I wanted. And throughout this whole process of buying a lot of things before, then completely stopping in one day, and now not buying anything and kind of saying no to things for the past few weeks, I have been observing the way I feel, the way I think, the way my behavior changed, and I found it quite interesting. So I definitely noticed that even when I was still allowed to buy things, I was getting bored of it in a way. So there were so many things that I got that it started getting annoying. And at the very end of last year, there was a moment when I found myself searching for things to want because I knew that very soon I will not be able to buy anything I want. So I was looking for what else can I want before I'm banned from wanting anything at all. So definitely at the beginning it was very exciting. It was very exciting to be picking the things that I want, ordering them, receiving them, unpacking them. It was very nice to have the newness of the things. But there were also some things that I found very annoying, like the process of ordering from abroad, dealing with post office, stuff like that. I was also starting to get frustrated with not being able to catch up with all of the new things coming into my collection. Throughout the year before, I was trying to use every single thing that I got immediately to get to know it, or there were things that I was saving because I didn't want to unpack them and I wanted to use up the previous thing before I started the new one. At that point, it started getting impossible, so that was annoying. But in general, it was definitely very nice to be able to be trying things that I wanted to try for a long time, or things that I found exciting. In general, the feelings were very good. Some of the last things that I purchased were on, I think, December 30 or even 31st, and those were definitely kind of desperate purchases. They were not things that I didn't want, but they were things that I felt like I want right now, and soon I will not be able to get them, so I should get them right now. And I did. I placed 3 orders of things that I found interesting and exciting, and now I'm still waiting for some of those purchases. I think as we were getting closer to the end of the year, despite the general feelings of getting new things and trying out the things that I want to try, we're very positive. I also was feeling kind of a pressure put by myself on myself to buy. I was feeling like I have to get the things that I want now because soon I will not be able to, and I was definitely feeling like I'm running out of time. I think I also want to talk about it because if you are considering doing a no-buy, it might be useful to hear how easy it actually is. And of course, it might be just my experience. It might be caused by my specific life and my context. It might be easy for me because of those things, but I do think that it's still worth it to mention it, that it's actually very nice. Going back to the timeline again, when that day came, when the 1st of January came, I felt very much released from the pressure. And it was a very immediate feeling. Before that, I felt like I'm running out of time and I need to buy things because later I will not be able to. And then on January 1st, I woke up and I didn't feel anything at all. And it was all good. There was no pressure. There was no sort of discomfort relating to not being able to buy anymore and to get the things that I want. And to be honest, I was quite surprised how immediately my mindset and my focus shifted from outside and the kind of hunter perspective to the inside. And in a way, it feels very cozy here. I'm really liking it. I think there are a few factors that contributed to me feeling that release of pressure and peace and generally positive feelings when I started my no-buy. First of all, something that we definitely need to consider is the fact that I still have orders that I have placed just before I started. So there still are things that will be coming to me. There are still things that will be new to me in the future, even right now. There are still things that I haven't received yet. There also are a lot of things that I have bought just recently. So things that feel very new to me, things that I'm not familiar with, that I haven't created content about, that I haven't properly tested out. So there's still a lot of new things in my life, either right now or in close future. So that's definitely something that is an important thing to consider and something that might be contributing to me not feeling more pressure to buy because I still am getting new stuff. So I do think that the beginning of a no-buy is easier for me because of that. Another thing that I did, and I am very happy that I did, and I think it really made me think about this a lot and contributed a lot to the shift in my feelings and mindset. I created a Google Sheet where I listed every single makeup item that I have. So not even skincare, hair care, body care, nothing like that, just makeup items. First of all, I listed every single thing so I can see the name of every single thing that I have in one place there. I also went through my Instagram or my photo gallery on my phone or just my memory and I searched for the date when I received those items and I put those dates in the sheet. So I can see what I have and I can see how old it is when I got it. There are things that are very new and it also helped me see how many things I got just last year. And also there are things that are very old and that I see that I have them for a very long time and maybe I haven't used them so much. Plus it also encouraged me to start a project pan because maybe those things need to be finished or decluttered. If something is that old, there's something that I need to do about it, finish or get rid of it because it's makeup, it expires. And another thing that I did is also I went through the internet and searched for every single thing that is on that Excel sheet or Google sheet, and I searched for the price of the items. So I didn't necessarily put the price that I paid for the items, because very often I bought makeup on sale, or just I couldn't find the price, or I just didn't remember. So it didn't really matter how much I specifically paid for that, but I put a price to give a value to the item. So now I was also able to see how much money I spend and how much value I have in my makeup collection. So even if I didn't specifically spend that amount of money, this is the value that I have. These are the prices that someone could buy those things for. And the last thing about that Google sheet is I am now tracking my usage in it, and throughout those weeks I am seeing the actual number of amount of times that I am using things. I don't think I've ever had this amount of clarity about my makeup collection. I think when I first created that sheet, I was feeling almost overwhelmed by how much stuff I have and how much money I have in that stuff. Plus also how old some things are and how many things I got last year. Those were the biggest points that really made a big impression on me and made me really think about my makeup collection in a different way. So I think if you want to gain more awareness of what you actually have, not just in the visual way, but like numbers and dates and lists of things, if you're that kind of person like me, clearly, I think it's a very valuable thing to do and really can give you a lot of insight into what you have and how much you want to have. Because now in that sheet, I am also making notes of how many things of a specific category I think I would like to have. So for example, seeing that I have 3 foundation kind of products. For me in my current life, it makes no sense for me to have this many. Ideally, I would have 1 or 0. And now every day when I'm putting my usage into the sheet, I'm reminded that, oh, I have 3. And you will see how many things I have, and I will talk about this more when I make my inventory videos next month. So if you're curious about those things, you will find out. I will tell you everything. But for now, I think that creating that sheet really shifted my mindset from the outside world and things that I don't have but maybe would like to have to things that I actually have. And I think that's a really big thing that is making me focused and feel good about not buying new stuff. Like right now I have the amount of eyeshadows that would last me a lifetime if they didn't expire ever. And yeah, in conclusion, creating that sheet was a really big step in the right direction for me and my no-buy year. And if you are considering a no-buy, a low-buy, or you just want to know more about what you have, I really recommend doing that. Another big thing that I think contributes to the peace that I feel right now is the fact that I am allowing myself to buy one thing for my birthday and one thing for Christmas. That is not a replacement. And the reason why it gives me peace might be different than you think. It gives me peace because I notice that now when I'm looking at the new makeup that's coming out or things that I wanted to buy before I started my no-buy, things that are still on my wish list, I no longer think, do I want it right now? Do I want it at the moment? Is it nice right now? I no longer ask those questions. But now what I'm asking myself is this good enough? Do I like it enough for this to be the one thing I buy for myself for my birthday? Will I still want it in a year from now when my no-buy year ends? Will I still like it then? Do I think it's good enough and worth it for me to remember it for the whole year and think about it for the whole year, to buy it when my no-buy year ends? Is it that good? And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I don't know, but a lot of the times the answer is no. A lot of the times the new releases that come out that I really like looking at and enjoy seeing, they're not incredible enough for me to think that I will still want them a year from now, or that they are the one thing, the best thing out of everything this year that I will want to buy. Overall, I am almost surprised with how good I feel starting a no-buy year. I was a little worried, especially for the beginning part when there's still the shock of going from buying everything to buying absolutely nothing. But I don't feel that at all. I think the best way to describe the way I'm feeling is I feel peace and I feel free. I'm seeing a lot of content on the internet with advice on how to survive a nobuy year or how to make it easy, how to help someone go through it. And I know that the reasons why people start their nobuy years are very different, and there might be different contexts to consider. But those videos and that kind of content made me think that it will also be hard for me. And it isn't. At least not yet. I am filming it on January 26th. So I am 26th day into my nobuy year. And well, those are my first impressions. I feel a lot of peace. I feel free. I feel released from the pressure of consumerism. I feel like my mindset shifted from hunting and looking for new things and fighting to get the new items to my feelings about my collection, to what I have already, saving money, creativity, and thinking of different ways and different ideas to create with what I have. And what I have is not little. It helped me to take a look around me and notice how much I have and notice how much I can do with it. And with that being said, I do want to still highlight a few products or new releases or older releases of things that are still on my wish list and I'm still wanting them and still thinking about them, or I have thought about them and wanted them throughout the past few weeks. And obviously I'm not going to buy any of those things, not right now and not soon. Some of them I might consider for my birthday gift, but some of them I managed to talk myself out of. I think one of the first releases that I saw after starting my nobuy year was the Natasha Denona Mini Dream collection. I remember when it was announced, I kind of felt almost betrayed because I have just started a nobuy year and there's immediately a release that I am interested in. And I was interested in the mini Natasha Denona palette because I have almost all of them. I have a big collection of Natasha Denona mini palettes, and having so many of them is giving me kind of a collector's mindset, which is not a good thing to have with makeup, I think. My first reaction was, it's something that I have a lot of, so I need to have this one as well. And also because it was a neutral palette, so something that I can actually use every day. I take my mini Natasha Denona palettes with me to travel, especially for work, and a nude palette like Mini My Dream would be kind of perfect for that. And that really contributed to me feeling kind of betrayed. Like, why is there a release so perfect and something that I would have bought if I wasn't on a nobuy a week after I started it? Or was it just before? Like something like that. But I couldn't buy it, I think, for logistical reasons. In any case, I managed to talk myself out of it. Like, I didn't have to talk myself out of buying it because, of course, I wasn't going to break my nobuy. But I talked myself out of wanting it. First of all, I definitely don't need another mini Natasha Denona palette. I have a lot of them already. Too many of them. I don't even use all of them. I also don't need another travel palette because I already have a lot of travel palettes. I also have a few that are similar to this one. I have the mini Starlight palette and I have the mini Glam, and they were both most compared to the mini Dream. It was quite easy to convince myself that I already have a better version of what just came out. Another thing that really tickled me when it was announced was the Makeup by Mario, what is it, Ethereal Eyes? The famous palette that everyone wants, that gets sold out all the time and gets most compared to the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. It was announced that it's coming to Sephora, and I remember also feeling like, why now? I wanted to get this palette a month ago, and I would probably bought it if it was announced and like available to me a month ago. It was taking quite a lot of space in my mind a few months ago. And now, immediately after I am starting my nobuy year, it's announced that it will be coming to Sephora, which means it will just be much easier to get. So it did feel a little annoying to be teased like that. I did remind myself that I do have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, which is compared to it a lot, and is better for me in a way that it has magnetic shades that I can take out of the palette. And then when I asked myself, will I want to get it for my birthday or next year, the answer to that question was maybe. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not convinced. It might not be perfect enough. not because of its own qualities, but just because of other things that I already have. It might not be filling enough of a void. It might just be covering something that is already covered. Another thing that was very soon added to my wish list, and I still kind of wanted, but not enough to break my nobuy obviously, was the Simply Posh Aurora Lights eyeshadow palette. Again, it is an eyeshadow palette. I have a lot of those, so I definitely don't need it, but I do enjoy when I see it on Instagram or wherever. I think it's a beautiful color story. I like seeing the colors. I love seeing the swatches and the shimmers and all of that, so it is beautiful to look at. I really enjoy looking at it, and I think if I was not on a no-buy, I might buy it. In general, while I do enjoy looking at it and I appreciate its beauty and the color story and the shimmers and all about it, I really like looking at it. I feel free from the pressure of wanting to buy it. It is not something that I currently need. It is not crucial, and I have made a decision to not get things, and I am just sticking to it. Just to mention some things that I wanted that are not eyeshadows, I do still want and have on my wish list the Auric Glowy Primers. It is something that I might get for myself at some point when I finish my Charlotte Tilbury and Say items of similar purpose. I also have the Natasha Denona My Dream Trio Blush and 2 Highlighters palette on my wish list. I have looked at it in the store before and I almost bought it, so it might be something that I get for myself at some point. But again, I'm not too pressed, also because I have the Glam Face palette, which has a highlighter and a blush, so I am just enjoying those and yeah, not feeling any pressure. And there are some other things that grab my attention for a little, and I appreciate their beauty from afar and can enjoy them as their own things, not owning them. You get my point. Even though there are things that I like seeing and enjoy looking at, and they give me joy just from me looking at them, at the moment it's very hard for me to really consider wanting something because of that first no reaction that I have caused by my no-buy year. And my recording is getting a little long now, so I will not be mentioning any more products that I have been looking at and any of my thoughts about them or my reasons not to buy them. If that is something that you would enjoy seeing and you are interested in watching, please let me know, and I might do a more detailed and more specific new makeup releases kind of thing later on. In conclusion, no-buy year right now is really good to me. It brings me peace. I feel really good about it. I am happy with the way my mindset shifted and the way I'm thinking about my makeup collection now and the way it encourages my creativity. Of course, we are just not even a month in and I still have new things coming in. So things might change and I might feel differently in a month or two. We'll see. I will definitely update you about that. If you are someone thinking about starting a no-buy year, doing a low buy or anything of that sort, I really want to encourage you to just do it. If you're intimidated by a no-buy year, make it shorter. If you're intimidated by how strict it might be, you can set your own rules that would work for you. But I also think that the best way to grow and change and become a better person and be proud of yourself is challenge yourself a little. And that is what I'm doing. That is my goal for myself as well. And so far, I am very happy with it. I really hope you enjoyed. If you are still here, still listening at this point, please leave a comment and leave a snowflake in the comments so that I know that you're still here. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts. If you're doing a no-buy year, please tell me how it's going for you and if you can relate to any of the feelings that I was talking about. And if you're in general interested in no-buy kind of content, please subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!